Welcome, everybody. Today we are going to do a fundamental analysis of credits. Now, credits is a project that a lot of you guys have asked for. This was a special request. This is not an endorsement of credits. They haven't asked me to do this. They haven't paid me to do this. And I'm not even saying it's a project that I like. But we have had many requests on my video from last Friday. It was the consensus update that I put together, and everybody was asking about credits. And if you don't know me, I'm Mark, and I do the fundamental side. I'm the fundamental analyst. I am the Strong Hands. My Twitter handle is Strong Hands Hodl at Twitter. So I'm the Strong Hands Hodl. I'm the fundamental analysis, and so everybody wants to know my opinion. They want to know, what I think about certain coins from a fundamental standpoint. Everybody knows that Jacob is the technical analyst, and he's a wizard at what he does. And he's also a strong fundamentalist, don't get me wrong, but we definitely complement each other. And so on my live stream, everybody wanted to know about credits. And, I said, hey, if you guys want credits, put the comments in there and give me some likes. And so overwhelmingly, everybody wanted credits. So here we are. I'm going to start doing these more often for you guys. If you guys give me enough thumbs up, if you guys like this, I'll start doing more. Tell me what coins you want, and we'll start bringing this for you. For me, I believe that fundamental analysis is the best way to predict the future. Technical analysis is really good, and some people swear by that. I like fundamental analysis. Obviously, when you can combine the two, it's even better. But really, to tell the future, and I don't mean the immediate future, but really the far out future, you have to understand the fundamentals. What's up, Dave? Yeah, thanks for coming in. Neon Monkey. All right, I'm glad to have you guys. So I believe that understanding the fundamentals of a company are completely necessary to be able to hodl, to be able to hold for a long time. I believe that, a lot of the projects, if you get in on the right projects, you're going to make an enormous amount of money, like a life-changing amount of money in the long term. But we have to be patient. A lot of people are expecting crypto to be a lot further along than where it is. And so we need to be patient. And the only way that we can have strong hands to hodl through, not just for the upside, but also for the downside, is to understand what we're getting in. And so I do this fundamental analysis on every investment that I look at, and I'm going to do one for you today, and I'm going to teach you how to do it more importantly. You like this video. Good. Big A, good to have you. All right, so fundamental analysis on credits again. For those of you guys that are just joining us, this was a special request. You guys gave me the thumbs up in the request. I'm doing it for you. So the first thing we're going to do is I want to show you. I have this handy DYO guide that I put together for you guys. This is a free download, and you can use this to do your own research. So you guys all see these coins, your favorite person on Twitter, YouTube, or whatever, and they tell you about this coin, and then they tell you to DYOR, right? So that's do your own research. But a lot of people don't know how to do their own research, and so I have a whole video. If you look on our feed, you'll see a DYOR video where I teach you how to do it. And I teach you, and I made this guide. So anyway, in the show notes down below, you can download it. It's free. Go to that link, download this guide. I'm going to go ahead and use this guide today to do the fundamental analysis of credits, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm in the guide right here, DYOR, how to do your own crypto research. It's a step-by-step guide. So if you just follow this, and it's a workbook that you can fill in, so how to do your own research. I'm not going to go through that. This is why doing your research is important. Here's resources that I use. So there's links for that. So it's super handy for you guys. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to find the value. All right. And I've already filled this in. So I've already done the work ahead of time for you guys. So right here, you can see, hopefully you can see that the coin that we're talking about is credits today. Obviously the date right here, the history. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find out about the history of credit. So they launched on March 2nd. So they're about 2 to 3 months old. When they launched, they were at 23 cents. And they have an all-time high price of $1. Right now, their current price is at 61 cents. They have 137 million tokens circulating and a market cap of 85 million. Now, I've watched fundamental reviews from other people on YouTube, and they're not really a lot of good ones. Anybody can read you this data. You can go to CoinMarketCap and read that data. Let me tell you what the data means. All right, that's way more important. I can just go right here and pull this up and I can read that, right? But what does it mean? Why do I want to understand it? So first of all, they've been public for 2 months. If they launch right into a bear market, I want to know that. If they launch into a bull market, I want to know that. Now they've had a couple pretty good months. And the price hasn't really rallied. They did launch at 23 cents and they had an all-time high at a dollar. So that's a 5 times gain, which is great. Right now the price is down. Now I like to know where the all-time high was because it's probable, it's somewhat realistic if it's a good coin that the price should be able to get back up to the all-time high pretty quickly. So if I really like this coin at the end of this research and I really like it, it's probable that the price should be able to get back up to the all-time high, and that's an easy 40-50% gain or actually more, almost a double, almost 100% gain. So right off the bat, I like to know how far below the all-time high is, all right? I also want to know the circulating supply, but really most importantly, this is the number that I really want to know. More than anything, the market cap. So for a lot of you guys, you think that it's the price of the coin that's so important, but really it's all about the market cap. The market cap is how much this company is worth. The price of the coin means nothing. Thanks, Luke. I have a hard time reading the comments and doing this, so I'm gonna get through this. I'll go into Q&A at the end. The market cap is the value of the company. That's all that matters. Whether the price of the coin is 1 penny or $1 million a coin, it doesn't really matter. We're trying to value the company. Is the company that we're buying into cheap, or is the company that we're buying into expensive? So today, the market cap is $85 million. I want to know what exchanges they're on. Now, I want them to be on exchanges because then that provides liquidity. But also, if they're already on all the majors, then there maybe isn't a whole lot of room to grow. Now, none of these things on their own mean everything. We have to take them all into account and add them up. So they're on 2 lower tier exchanges, and then they're on a couple others. I put some notes in here, and so you guys can see all these things you can click and you can add your own, so you can save these on every coin. Basically, the notes that I put here was that this all-time high was hit 4 days after launch. All right. And part of the reason why that's important is it pumped right off the public launch, and then it fell again. So I typically would like to see something a little bit more organically growing instead of a pump like that. So it kind of pumped and then it fell. It did rally back all the way to 88 cents on May 9th, so it did rally back pretty good. And then since it's been sold off, however, the whole market's down. So these are all things you want to take into account. So it pumped right off the bat. There was a lot of interest, obviously, coming out of ICO. It fell. It did rally back, so there was interest to buy it back up, which was good. And now it's sold off, but the whole market's down. So that tells us that. Now, I get all of that data from here. Right, so I'm sure you're all familiar with CoinMarketCap. So this tells me the price of the coin, tells me what the market cap is. The volume is also important. I didn't put that on this research sheet. There's nowhere to put volume, but basically volume, there's almost about $1.5 million worth of volume on an $85 million market cap. So that's a lot of volume. So you want to make sure that the volume is high enough where you're not going to get stuck on a coin. What I've seen a lot of times with companies like I'm not going to name any names, but you might see like a 400 million market cap, but the volume's only like 100,000 volume, and that's very easy manipulated. All you need is $100,000 and you can keep buying the price of your company up. When you only have an 85 million market cap and there's a $1.5 million of volume, I think that's less manipulated. I feel there's more people interested in this coin, so I like that. All right. So we're going to keep going. So the next thing that I want to look at as I scroll down, I want to look at the features. So for me, this is where most coins die right off the bat. Okay. The first question I want to know, number one, what problem is the product trying to solve? Okay, that's it. It's a very simple question, but it's funny. I mean, I talk to people all the time and they're like, what do you think about this coin? What do you think about this coin? Like, for example, I've had so many people ask me about Telegram. Telegram's gonna do this new coin. They raised whatever, $1 billion in private sale, and everyone's like, what do you think about Telegram? And I ask, what problem are they trying to solve? Nobody has an answer for that. So you can eliminate a lot of this noise by trying to figure out what problem are they trying to solve. So when I look, they on the credits website. What's interesting on the credits website is, first of all, it's not the best website. I'm not super impressed by it, but don't let that be the only thing. I mean, it's not all about having a slick website. But under documents here, they have a whole bunch of like white papers, technical papers, short presentations, long presentations, 3-page teasers, which I guess makes it easy. You don't have to read through all the technical stuff to get the information that you need. I've already downloaded them all here. So right here we can see this is the problem that they're trying to solve. The problem is blockchain platforms are slow. Okay, so it says right up here, Credits is a B2B platform. It's a protocol. I like protocols. That's a good thing. It tells me that the problem that they're trying to solve is that blockchains are slow and they cost a lot of money. So that's the problem. So they're probably talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is Ethereum's, weak point is that they're slow. I will say that the reason why they're slow is because of the censorship resistance. And so people are trying to sacrifice censorship resistance for speed, like EOS. So EOS comes out and their main advantage is they're fast. They're really fast. And so Credits is trying to say they're even faster. So they say that they can do like 1 million TPS transactions per second. And so that's the problem they're trying to solve. So right here, what problem are they trying to solve? I put per presentation, slow network speed, and high cost. So that's the problem they're trying to solve. 2, does the product have unlimited demand? Yes, it does, right? Obviously, we know that blockchain networks, protocols are going to be have unlimited demand. And so that's a really big problem to solve. However, I put a note in here, it's a very crowded market. So yes, it's a problem that needs to be solved, but they're trying to compete against Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, Neo, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. I'm just naming some of them, right? So yes, it's a problem. Yes, it has unlimited demand. Is it a problem that needs to be solved? I suppose so. I think Ethereum has a pretty good handle on it. Obviously, EOS, Cardano, Neo, they all have a pretty good handle on it. So anyway, yeah, it's a big product, but it's a crowded market. And then 3, are they using blockchain technology in a unique way? So it says not every existing product or service needs to be tokenized. So I'm seeing a lot of companies that are trying to say they're going to solve this problem with blockchain technology, but they don't need a blockchain to solve that. They could just use like regular website or a regular database. And so is it a problem that needs to be solved? Does it have unlimited demand? And are they using blockchain in a unique way? Now, in this case, yes, it's a smart contract platform. So of course, they're solving the problem they're trying to solve is a problem with smart contracts. So of course, it's using blockchain technology. I put notes in here. I put that they're trying to solve the problem of slow platforms. In their own paper, they compare themselves to Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're competing in a very crowded market with serious competitors with a very simple competitive advantage that already other people are competing on. All right. Then I want to know, where are they? Are they a protocol, a platform, or an application, or a DApp? A decentralized application is a DApp. I typically like to invest let me just back up. So when I'm talking about investing, I'm talking about holding. I'm talking about buying in early, riding the wave until these guys are worth a lot of money. All right. So you're going to have to hold for a long time. I think for me personally, my sweet spot is to hold about 30 positions at any given time. And I'm not talking about trading. Okay, trading something different. I'm talking about holding. I like to hold about 30 positions, and I'm typically looking for like a year or longer to hold them. And so I don't believe that the applications, the dApps, are really going to be where the money's made. I believe it's going to be in the protocols. So typically I look for that. So they are a protocol. They're kind of a platform. So that's good. We look at the consensus mechanism. Bitcoin and Ethereum are proof of work. We have like Neo and EOS, they're proof of stake. Ethereum is probably going to be switching over to proof of stake this year. And so I like to know that. I also put in the notes here that it's a DPoS system, which is what EOS uses. What I put in my notes is that it uses centralized nodes. So I'm a really big fan of I don't really like the word decentralization because I believe it misses the point. Bitcoin is not just decentralized, it's censorship resistant. All right. And so it achieves that through decentralization. But a lot of people are using the word decentralized, but they're really not that decentralized. They're decentralized ledger, but it's not censorship resistant. So it's a difference. And so I like to put that there. Right. Next, I like to know the monetary policy. So I want to know, how did their token sale go? I want to know, how many did they give to the founders? How many did they sell, etc. What kind of lockup periods were there? And so I also want to know what the token metric system is. And what that means is that, for example, if I have this ticketing system, and in order to buy tickets on my platform, you need my token. But you don't really want my token, you just want the ticket. So you convert your dollar into the token, you buy the token or the ticket, and then as soon as I get the token, I convert it back to dollars. So that means that token has high velocity. It goes basically from dollar to token back to dollar. There's no reason for anyone to hold that token, to hold on to that token. And so there's really nothing to make that token go up in value. A few ways that it can be done would be like burning tokens, staking tokens, rewarding people for holding tokens, fixed cap, hard caps on tokens like Bitcoin. And so when I read through this information, they don't have any of that. And so they don't, at least they don't explain a good token metric or token economic policy to me. And so what I'm really trying to find out is, if you've ever watched Shark Tank, is they say, how am I going to get my money back? If I put money in, why will the price of this token go up? Now, most people think the price of the token go up is because somebody will pay more for it later. That's called the greater fool theory. I don't like that. I'm not trying to be a smart investor hoping there's a greater fool behind me. I want to see that there's a reason why that token will go up in value, and there must be some sort of economic policy that would cause that token to go up in value. And I'm not seeing that here, which is why I went ahead and put a red mark through that. The next thing is I'm looking for roadmaps. So I want to look at the roadmap, and I want to see that they've already got quite a bit of the work done. And I want to see that they're going to have a pretty good aggressive growth on the rest of the roadmap. I don't want to see that they're 5 years out from releasing anything. I want to see like this is happening right now. I mean, they've raised a bunch of money. They should be doing this quickly. So typically, I want to know, do they have a working product? And do they have a beta product? Now with them, but it should be... But they don't have a working product and they don't have a beta product. All right. What they have here is they do have an alpha product. So that's alpha is before beta. So they have a alpha test, but it's pre-beta. So they don't even have a beta model, much less a working mainnet. They do say they will release that in June. So it looks like it's coming up. All right. So, they don't have a working product, they don't have a mainnet, and they don't have a beta either, all right? So typically I like to see at least a beta product. They don't have that. In my notes here, I put that they have released alpha testnet, but it's pre-beta. The beta is expected June 18th. So I left these notes for myself. Now, again, all these things on its own don't leave me with a yes or no answer. They all add up, pros and cons. The next thing I like to look for is I like to look at the team. So I believe that team is super important, maybe one of the most important things. The reason why I say it's one of the most important things, and I would even say that the team is more important than the technology. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but let me explain why. You're all familiar with forks. Bitcoin was forked a bunch of times. Everything gets forked, right? Zen Cash is like one of my favorite privacy coins. They're a fork of Zcash and Z Classic. So what happens is it's not just a team, but it's what I call a go-to-market strategy. How are they going to get this coin in the market? And that's the most important thing. So let's say, for example, I have this privacy coin and I have this massive community and everybody loves it and I have all these people talking about it. And then somebody else comes along and they create this brand new privacy coin with way better technology, but they're brand new. Well, I can just fork their technology and I can take it and I can introduce it to my audience. So having the right team with a good go-to-market strategy is super, super important. Now, what I'm looking for in a team are two things, and these are the check boxes here. One, does the team or developers have experience with previous blockchain projects? And do they have industry related experience? So for example, if they were creating a blockchain for marketing, and they had a new way where you can keep your data and you can sell your data to these marketers, and they were going to revolutionize the marketing industry, right? Well, I would want to make sure that people on that team came from the marketing industry. If they were in the healthcare space, for example, and they were going to disrupt the healthcare space and figure out a better way to build insurance companies using blockchain, for example, I would want to make sure people on their team had healthcare experience. And I would also want to make sure the people on their team had blockchain experience. So those are the two things. Do they have blockchain experience? Do they have industry experience? And in this case, I kind of have to say no. So we have their team right here of the CEO and co-founder Igor right here. So he comes from affiliate marketing for banks and microfinance companies. So he says he's from the financial space, but really it's from affiliate marketing in financial products, which is not really the same thing. Now, I don't have anything against affiliate marketing or multi-level marketing. I think they're great businesses for a lot of people, but I don't know if that gives you the experience you need to take out EOS or Ethereum. Now, EOS obviously is trying to take out Ethereum. Ethereum's the giant. Everyone wants to take out Ethereum. EOS is headed up by Dan Larimer. Dan Larimer started BitShares and Steem. That's massive credentials. What does this guy have? He's from affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing. He doesn't even list the companies. So it's really hard to do any due diligence when they don't even list the companies. Now, the co-founder, it says that they have experience of blockchains for 3 years. But what? They don't even list it. What experience do you have with that? So, you know, if you had good experience, you would list it. Typically, you're listing, you know, we know that you came from Neo, you're one of the co-founders of Factom, right? Something like that. But these guys aren't even listing that. So back to my check sheet, I put red marks through here. But here, bonus. Do team advisors, which I consider team advisors to be like gate openers, do they have appropriate industry connections? Now, you're going to hear different people talk about advisors. Some people tell you that advisors really don't mean a whole lot, and some people think advisors mean more. For me personally, what I think about advisors is that they're not working on the business, that they're not there, but what they're really good at is opening doors. So for example, if I was going to start, like I said, like a healthcare business, for example, and I was going to disrupt the insurance industry, and I had an advisor from like Blue Cross or Aetna Insurance on my board, like that would be pretty good. Like they could probably open up a lot of doors for me. So that's how I look at them, and I put that on here, are their gate openers. So when I look at their team, where do I find that? Oh, right here on their website. Also, I don't really like this. They don't make it super easy. I mean, I guess you can kind of see that here. They do have a pretty big team, which I guess is okay. But on their advisory board, they have these guys, and this guy. Let me scroll up a little bit. This guy right here, Neaton, he comes from IBM Blockchain Labs, so like that's pretty good. So they have some experience or possibly a gate opener into with some blockchain experience there. They also have this guy Kyle Wang. He's a senior consultant at IBM Cleveland. So their advisors have some blockchain connections, but again, these advisors aren't working there, right? They're not day-to-day people. So I look at them as gate openers. Well, what gates can they open? And open them with IBM, right? So I not super impressive, but I do give them some credit for that. As you can see, I gave them a checkbox there. Then I want to look at their community. Being able to have this big, robust community is super important because I need to get the word out. I want to make sure everybody's talking about my coin. I want to get the hype up. I want to get people using it, etc. Right? So the community is super important. Like I said, like that go-to-market strategy. I want to make sure I have this really viral community, and so I want to make sure that they have multiple community platforms open. They have tons of members on there. They're super active. They're communicating and working with all their people. And so that's something I look for. So here I have, does the project provide multiple online communities for their teams? And is there a substantial amount of members on each platform? Telegram, Discord, Twitter, Facebook groups, etc. We can go to their website And we can see here they have two. They have Facebook and Telegram. So they're kind of missing quite a bunch. A lot of companies might have 4 or 5 on there, if not more. They have two. So, it's not bad, but it's not a whole lot. So what I put here, they don't provide multiple online communities, and there's not really a substantial amount of members because there's not a lot of people there. But when I've gone into those communities on Telegram and Facebook, the sentiment is how people are feeling and talking about it. The sentiment is pretty high. People really like this, and obviously they do because I'm doing this review because so many people asked about it. I think for the most part, everybody thinks that because they do 1 million TPS transactions per second, they're going to be the best blockchain out there. They're way faster than EOS, they're way faster than Ethereum, and they can take over the world. But just because they say they have the fastest blockchain doesn't really mean that much. I mean, it does, but the best product doesn't always win. And so what I've found when I go into those communities is everybody loves the project because they say they have the fastest speed. There's not a lot of other reasons why they like it. They're not saying this is the best team or things like that. In my notes, I put that Telegram has 27,000 members. That's a pretty good size, and Facebook has 8,000. That's not too big, but so those are the sizes of that. And then I want to look at active development. Are they actively working on this space, right? So what I do with that is I want to go on to GitHub, and I open up their repository right here. And as you can see here, I want to know like how many code repositories do they have, how many commits do they have, and how many contributors do they have, right? Like I want to make sure it's not just one person putting a couple commits on there. Now, this can go way deeper, and actually, that's a good point. All of this can go way deeper. I'm giving you guys a very high level view. The reason why I'm giving you the high level view is because a lot of this stuff hasn't enticed me to dig deeper. All right. So typically what happens is the reason why I've built all this information in this flow is because this is the way that it's the easy information and it gets to the harder information. Most of the projects I look at, on the first couple questions, I'm done. I don't even dig in deeper because I've already given up at that point. So a lot of these things I would dig in much deeper had I thought it warranted that. So anyway, I'll get back to that. But anyway, so active development, I want to know how many code repositories they have, how many commits they have, how many contributors they have. What I could do deeper here is I would actually look at what kind of commits, because a lot of people can game the system and they're just going to put in like any random commit to make it look like it's up. And we can access that just right here on their website. They have this little GitHub symbol. It opens up their GitHub thing. I can see right here, right off the bat, there's 21 repositories. As I scroll down, I can see, it looks like, you can see what repositories they have. I think probably this is their API. This is last updated. And when we click on these, we can click on this little insights right here. And this will tell us right here, I can change this from 1 week to a month. And we can see there's really nothing going on here. No reports here. We'll check out this other repository. Like we can check out their wallet. Which hopefully should have some action. Change this from a week to a month, and kind of the same thing. Nothing really going on here. Now this is a company that's supposed to be launching their beta network maybe in a week. So there should be a lot of activity going on here, and I'm just not really seeing that. All right, so that's kind of it. So we're at the end. Oh, the last thing I want to do is I want to look at their upcoming events. And there's a bunch of ways I can do that. They kind of make it easy right here. They kind of have this news tab on the website, and then they have all these categories and they have these events. So I can look at like what kind of events they have. Now they do have quite a bit of events going on. They do seem to be pretty active, which is typically pretty good. I like that. Like I said, it's really about getting the word out. Really about getting that fire up, getting that stoke out. and trying to get people, on this, and it's worked, right? Like I said, I'm doing this review because so many people asked me to do it. So people are interested in, like I said, they're really on that million TPS, transactions per second. So anyway, that's the review. Now, what do I think about credits? All right. So I'm sure you're all waiting for me to tell you that. So here's what I think about this. I have another product that I work with Jacob. It's called Signal Profits, and we send out trading signals every day. Buy this coin at this price, and we have traded on credits, and we've made good money. I think it was in the last month. I think we closed out like 4 positions on credits. I think we made like over 50%, on it within a couple of days. So trading on credits has been really good. We've made a lot of money trading on credits, but that's trading. Trading, you don't really care about the asset. You're just trying to make money on it. Investing is something different. Investing is, I love this company. I think it's going to be a massive player. I can buy it super cheap today, and if I hold it long enough, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So trading it, we've done really well with it. Investing, for me, this is not a company that I would buy and hodl. I would buy it and I would trade it. I've made good money doing that, but I don't want to hodl it. And the reasons why are, one, the problem that they're trying to solve is, I guess it's the problem that needs to be solved, but I think Ethereum's going to solve it. Obviously, EOS has it covered. Cardano's in the running. Neo's in the running. I mean, we have all kinds of entrants, HPB, and you guys are probably going to light me up and tell me all these other ones. There's plenty of them, and that's my point. So they're jumping into a very, very crowded space, and the team that they have doesn't seem exceptionally positioned to disrupt that market. So, for example, I'm sure you all heard about Tesla cars, right? Electric cars. And if I said, hey, I'm going to start a new electric car company, and you should all invest into my company. Well, you would say, well, Tesla's already doing it. I know BMW and Porsche are launching electric vehicles this year, and you want to go compete against them. Tell us why I have a competitive advantage to go against BMW, Porsche, and Tesla, right? You would want to know that. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. They're going against Ethereum, Cardano, EOS, Neo, Qtum, and countless others. And so now, if this was like Vitalik Buterin left Ethereum and was going to launch a new platform, I would probably pay attention. EOS has Dan Larimer. He founded BitShares. I'll pay attention. But what do these guys have? So right off the bat, they kind of lose me on that. I don't like that they don't even have a beta product, and it doesn't look like they're super active on getting that done. And so, and I believe, so anyway, for me, if I'm going to invest, I'm going to buy and hold. I'm looking for people who I believe will be leaders in the space when the space develops, and I just don't think they're going to be there. I'm typically looking to make 1,000% return on every position that I get into. That means I want to 10x my money. So if I don't see that I could 10x my money, I'm not going to put it into my hodl position. I can only hold about 30 or 40 positions, and there's 1,600 to choose from, and this one just doesn't fit in there. So anyway, that's my review on this. I don't think that it's a position that I would want to hodl. I wouldn't put it into my long-term position, hold it for a year. I think trading on it is a good way to go, and it's worked really, really good for us, and it could work really, really good for you. That being said, I can go ahead and take some questions for you guys if you want. If anybody has some questions about credits or anything else, I'll spend a little bit of time doing that. Let's see. Eddie Chase says, I wish you had more information on credits. Okay, Eddie. What information would you like? I feel like I've covered quite a bit. I gave a bunch of information. So what am I missing, Eddie? Let's see. Ben Nichols, Chris Gilbert, stay with EOS, idiot. You'll regret it. Yeah, so I did kind of a head-to-head Ethereum and EOS comparison. You can find the video. What I said about that is that I don't believe this is a zero-sum game. I don't think there's only going to be one winner. I think multiple people will be kind of in the space, and I think dApp developers will be able to choose which one they want to run on. So, I think you can bet on EOS and Ethereum. Carl says, Ivan on Tech exposed this scam. Okay. I didn't see that, Carl, but sounds like Ivan saw kind of the same things I did. That's cool. Mahi Mahi, this guy is paid by CS competitors because they see a huge threat. No, I'm not paid by anybody. So anyway, Chris Gilbert, EOS is a POS as well. Yes, it is, and I think I said that it's actually a DPoS, and I said that in my notes. Beta is being worked on as we speak. Yeah, that's what I said. They're supposed to be launching it in like a week or two, so hopefully they are working on that. Brad says that there's no GitHub because they are patenting it like Hashgraph. That's a good point, Brad. I want to talk about that for a second. I don't like that. You have to understand, we're not trying to make a better database. A centralized model is a much better database. Bitcoin is not PayPal 2.0. It's revolutionary because it's what we call censorship resistant. That means it's immutable. I have my money, nobody can freeze it, seize it, steal it, manipulate it. If I want to send it to you, nobody can stop it, block it, or prevent that, okay? Now, it's called a trustless system. I don't have to trust a third-party central administrator because I trust the blockchain. I trust the decentralization, the consensus in the blockchain. The only way that I can trust this blockchain is if it's open source and it can be inspected and vetted by the community. So for somebody to build a patented, closed-off blockchain that I'm supposed to trust, how can I do that? How can I trust some blockchain that is patented and controlled and owned by a central entity that won't allow us to inspect the code? I think that goes against everything that Bitcoin stands for, that the blockchain stands for. And so that's a good point, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Let's see. Max says he's been testing their platform since March. They have it open for 150 people. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I did acknowledge that. I said that they have an alpha test net up, right? But that's pre-beta. Alpha is before beta. So I did acknowledge that. Thanks for bringing that up, Max. Mr. K said is working on a beta. Per what they have out, they're not. And per what the other guy just said, Max said they're not. So I'm not going to debate that. Would credits be a hodl if they released their mainnet and got partners? Sure, something could change that could make me change my mind. I don't ever make my mind up and in concrete. I believe there's an interesting. All right, I'll give you this quick little story. Albert Einstein was a professor. Obviously, you know who Einstein was, and he was this professor. And every year he'd give the students a test at the end of the year. And he gave every year he would give the students this same exact test. And one of the other professors came to Einstein and they said, "Hey, you're giving the same test. Why are you doing that? The students have the answers from last year." And he said, "It's because the answers have changed." All right. And so what that means is we're always getting new information and we have to be willing to change our mind because the answers change. And so to answer that question, would I be willing to change my mind? Sure. If something else came along that I wasn't aware of, I would change my mind. Danger says they skipped beta and went to pre-release. Okay. Like I said, there's nothing on there that I saw. I saw that on. Jordan says it screams a scam. You know, I don't really like it that much. So I'm not calling it a scam though. Ivan on Tech is the biggest EOS shiller, so he hates competitors. Okay. All right. You guys have a lot of opinions. That's fine. I don't see a lot of questions, so I guess I won't probably stick around too long. So anyway, that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, in the notes below, you can download that guide for free. You can use that to do your own research. Hopefully that's helpful for you. It kind of takes you through the steps. Like I said, they're in order because, you know, if you don't like what you find right off the bat, you can just stop. And if you do like what you find, then you want to start digging in deeper and deeper to every step. So anyway, check the links below, download that free guide. And also, if you want to know what positions I like and I hold, there's a link for that down there as well. Make sure that you give me some thumbs up on this. If you like me doing fundamental analysis, and I'll continue to do them for you, let me know in the comments which coins you want me to do the fundamental analysis on. I'll try and do one for you next week, whichever one gets the most comments. Like I said, give me the thumbs up, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Strong Hands Hodl, and that's it. I'm out. Hope that's helpful.